Welcome. This is a gentle warm-up for farmers who work with their bodies all day and want to eliminate potential injury. So what we'll be focusing on today is getting circulation and range of motion into the major joints of your body and your wrists. So go ahead and start standing. You're welcome to have a yoga mat if you'd like to have any other props for comfort. We're not necessarily going to be using props today, but you can always grab anything that you'd like for extra support. So once you start standing, go ahead and just roll your head around in circles. Chances are you're doing this first thing in the morning before a long work day. So it's really good to get some circulation to your neck, the top of your spine, and switch directions. I also recommend doing this movement before your first sip of coffee. Your body will feel better that way. And then take your arms out wide, up and over your head, interlace your fingers, and then flip your palms up to face the ceiling. And then roll around in circles with your arms and torso. And there's no right way to do this. It's really just about moving in a way that feels good for your body. And you're just warming up. And switch directions. And then relax your arms down by your sides. Now we'll do a little twisting. So you can just let your arms hang, let your body twist. For this one, you can kind of initiate the twisting by rocking your hips. So I'm letting one hip sweep forward and then the other hip sweep forward. My arms are just going along for the ride. And this might feel nice for your spine and all the muscles along your spine. Or if you're really tight this morning, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but as long as there's no pain. Good. And this time, let your arms settle back into the center. This time, keep your hips stationary and take your arms out to a cactus shape by your sides. And when you twist, this time initiate from your elbows and try and keep your hips stationary. And you may feel this in a different place in your spine. Make sure you can still breathe. Good, and then relax your arms by your sides, drop your chin, round your spine, soften your knees, and roll all the way down to a forward bend. And then we're going to reverse that, so we'll go back and forth a few times, rounding back up. So this is really about articulating your vertebrae. You're trying to just get some movement, some circulation, some motion into all of the little bones in your spine. And then the next time you round all the way down to a forward bend, hang out there for an extra moment. This is where if you have a really hard time forward bending, you could bend your knees a lot and bring your stomach closer to your thighs. Another option is if you happen to have a couple of yoga blocks nearby, you can put your hands on those blocks and it makes it easier to support your back and your hamstrings here. And see if you can drop your head, relax the back of your neck. And take one more deep breath. And then make your way down to your hands and knees. Drop your knees to the ground, hands underneath your shoulders, and start to roll around in circles over your wrists. So you probably do a lot with your hands every day, and your wrists need extra attention. Otherwise, you may end up with an injury someday from all of the repetitive motion that you do on a day-to-day basis. So this circular motion is really, really essential for the health of your wrists. And in general, joints really like circular motion. And switch directions. And these circles give a lot of information about what's going on in your wrists. If there's a spot that feels particularly tight, you can kind of roll over it a few times. I like to think of it as kind of like ironing it out. Ironing out any kinks or wrinkles in the joint. And then turn your fingers to face the outer edges of your mat and then rock from side to side. This time you are stretching your wrists a little bit more. And then take your fingers back to face your knees if you can. And if this is really intense, lean forward to make it less intense. But if you can handle going a little farther, you might lean back, deepening the stretch even more. Take another deep breath. And then turn your fingers back forward again. And we'll do some cat-cow. So inhale, let your belly button drop down, tailbone lifts, collarbones spread wide, lift your chin. And then exhale, pull your low belly in, relax the back of your neck. And then inhale, same thing, tailbone lift, drop your belly, lift your chin. And exhale, drop your head, pull your low belly in. Do that a couple more times. And then let your spine come back to neutral. Come down to lying on your belly for a Sphynx pose. So walk your elbows underneath your shoulders so that the front of your chest is open. And this is a really, really great posture, especially if you do a lot of forward bending and rounding of the spine every day. It's really, really important for your spine to do the opposite of that. So opening the chest, bending the spine. So take a few deep breaths here. Think collarbones even wider. And it's okay if you feel a little bit of compression in your back, but as long as there's no sharp pain. And I will wake up the core just a little bit. So if your core is awake and if you're really using your core throughout your day, it can really help protect your back in your day-to-day activities. So take an inhale here, and then on your exhale, press down into your elbows, pull your ribs in, tuck your tailbone, squeeze your glutes, and lift your hips up off the floor. And then lower your hips back down. Inhale, collarbones wide. And then exhale, push your elbows down, pull your belly in, round your spine, tuck your tailbone, squeeze your glutes, and then drop your hips, open your chest. Do that a few more times. So we're going back and forth from that arch to that hollow. And really see if you can utilize your lower belly muscles by tucking your tail and pulling your low ribs in. This will help save your lower back. Good, and then next time your hips are on the ground, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders and press yourself back up to your hands and knees. And then we'll visit a squat pose. So take your feet and step them on either side of your hands. So your feet are almost as wide as your yoga mat. And then squat down. Take your elbows to the insides of your knees, palms together in front of your heart. And if this is really difficult, you can take a couple yoga blocks and sit on them. But if you still can't reach the yoga blocks, you can put your elbows on top of your knees and just sink your hips as far as you can. And then collarbones spread wide again. And take one more full breath in and out. Good, and then make your way all the way to sitting. You can use your hands to get to the ground if you need to. Comfortable seat, doesn't matter necessarily what you do with your legs for this one, but take your left hand to the ground to your left and sweep your right arm out, up and overhead. So we're going for a really nice long side body bend here. And while we're bending our side body, make some big circles with your top arm. And this is really lubricating your shoulder joint. Again, joints like circular motion. So when in doubt, just make circles. If you ever find yourself needing to do a warm-up without this yoga video, just see in what way you can make circles with all of your joints. And switch directions. And then make your way over to the other side. Side bending. And make nice big circles with your top arm. And see how far back you can reach your top arm so that you're opening the front of your shoulder. And switch directions. Good, and then coming back to center, take your hands back behind you, and then rock your knees from side to side. So we're just massaging the glute muscle and decompressing the lower back. Good, and then if there's anything else that you feel like you need in order to feel complete before you start your day today, go ahead and tune into your body, really listen in. What does your body need in this moment? You can take an extra minute or so to complete your warm-up. And using your own intuition on what your own body needs is an amazing skill to have. So utilize that inner listening, just really being in touch with what your body needs. And I hope that you enjoy an injury-free rest of your day. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today.